That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a Luck of the Irish in reverse. Son of a buck. It's almost unbelievable what's happened to this roster this year, and I don't know what to make of it. It just keeps getting worse every single week. Let's get into it. As always, thanks for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps John out as well. Notifications, that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to look at my face, ain't nobody blame you for that. Oh, boy. Dude, it just keeps getting worse week after week. The call-in line, 312-900-8815. Dial it up. Tell Johnny all you heard and seen. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by SI. Read about it every single day of your life. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain, leading tactor, Mike Goolsby, and myself breaking it all down. All right. Welcome in, welcome back, fellow Notre Dame fans, and maybe some people that are here that aren't Notre Dame fans, but just know that I'm probably going to yell about something, and they just can't miss it. Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame career over. Hip injury. Needs a procedure. Done. Get ready for the NFL. Kind of reminds you of Hamilton, doesn't it? Remind me, am I wrong? I was at that USC game where Hamilton got hurt, and it was at home, so it's around the middle of October when we play them home. And then he sits out, you get healthy, and you go to the draft, and it's over, and it was great having you, and we didn't win anything with you that we should have, but you were good, and we'll see you. It's just really, really frustrating. And so I caught wind of this early this morning. It was getting around, and then it was made official, and it's just so unfortunate, man. Such a great player for Notre Dame, just such an elite player, the leader back there. Notre Dame career over. It's just so frustrating. This is an unreal season. When it comes to these major injuries for Notre Dame, this is one for the ages. I mean, you want to talk about, whenever you talk about a team having a really good year or really out achieving their goals or whatever for the year, you talk about, you're going to have to catch some breaks along the way. Yeah, Notre Dame's catching breaks on all of our players' body parts. That's the only breaks we get. Jeez, it never ends. It just never ends this year. Morrison, Botello, Traore, Rubio. I'm looking at like a dozen or more season-ending injuries plus a bunch that are returnable. And to key guys on key roles like the entire offensive line. Or God forbid some defensive linemen that can rush off the edge, and you're on like your third and fourth guys all over. Just look at the offensive line situation. I was thinking about this even before this Morrison news. I was thinking about this. Just think about it. Play it through in your noggin. You lose your tackles that have eligibility left to the NFL. That is good and it's bad. For obvious reasons, for your program. Good and bad. Good to send them there to the league and have people like your guys that much. Bad because it leaves you in trouble this year. Then you're going to fill one of those roles with Jags, and then he goes down in August, and you're already worried about the line. Even if he didn't go down, then he goes down. Then a couple more guys get dinged against Purdue, and then they're out. And then Pendleton's kind of banged out, and he's in, and the other guys are out. By the end of it all, you're working with like your 7th, 8th, and 9th offensive linemen. Who survives that? Be honest with yourself, Notre Dame fans. If it was Michigan or Brian Kelly or USC dealing with that offensive line situation I just broke down of like how far down the line you're going to fill out your offensive line because of the NFL and then injuries on injuries on injuries, you would say, man, that sucks. That's going to be hard to get things done in on the offensive side of the ball for them. That I would not want that to be my team. That is a bad place to be. You would be saying that if it was anybody else, man, but it's us. And so you want to find a way to tell yourself it'll be okay and we'll be just fine and everything. Man, just piles up on you and you just ask, is there a breaking point? And then with this one, it's right after Mickey leaves too, and he's giving high fives in the tunnel, leaning over the tunnel and everything. We could use you now, pal. Ain't that the way it goes? You know, and so you got Clark playing good nickel back there, and now it's like Christian Gray, you're the upperclassman, like lead other than Clark out there. I'm like, dude, it's getting bad when you're like looking at Gray for experience, how young he is, and Leonard Moore and Carson Hobbs. I mean, they're younger. Hey, let's ride, I guess. I mean, is this just the worst luck of all time for the school that has a shamrock as a logo? It's just, and you say, okay, you got these injuries or whatever, you know, what's the coach going to say? What can you say? This sucks and, you know, pack it all in. No, they're going to say next man up. We want our guys to get healthy. We wish them health, and we do, obviously, but next guy up. And you know my complaint about the next man up theory. The next man up isn't the first one in for a reason. All right? I get the next man up thing. What else can you say? You got to say it. But the next man up isn't the first one in the starting lineup for a reason. And you got that playing effect on a lot of parts of this team. So this is tough. This is tough. I mean, this is one of your best players, man. This is an NFL draft pick coming up. One of your best players, one of your leaders. Shut down half of the field and the opponent's best receiver, like every week. This is a huge hit. And so here's where this gets really interesting. Can't get enough unfiltered Notre Dame football talk? Be sure to go over to patreon.com/alwaysirish. Former captain Mike Goolsby and myself. Do that. Screw it.
Oh, we never won anything. It's been 30 years.
Nobody else cares about Notre Dame's excuses. Nobody feels bad for Notre Dame that you're all banged up. Tough luck. You got to go win games anyways. You can't use injury as a reason to lose games, but you also have to admit that when you have a ton of injuries to key guys, it makes it more likely you're going to lose some games, right? Like, it cannot be used as an excuse, but it can be used as a reason. I hate it. Bro, I hate it. I hate it. I just hate being in this position. Like, that's the thing, man. And thinking of like August, me sitting here, what a big year it is for Freeman. He's going to be judged off this. It's year 3 of Freeman. Time to get it rolling. You know, year 3 history at Notre Dame. You got to make the playoff for bust. Like, is Freeman in line for an extension? All this stuff's depending on this year 3 big picture result and all this. Are Notre Dame fans going to be more understanding of whatever happens the rest of the way because of all this or not? Like, do you judge Freeman the same way in this year with all these injuries, starting with that offensive line? Or do you give the guy leeway? Like, dude, I don't know what you want him to do. All of his best guys are in the morgue. How do you look at this from a Notre Dame perspective when you're trying to judge or gauge Freeman? And how he's doing this year. This is tough. I hate it. So, like, you can't lean on injuries as reasons it's okay to lose games. Nobody wants to hear that. But man, oh man, it just makes you wonder, where is a tipping point to where you're going to have at least one more loss that bites up on you or somewhere. And it's just, no one is going to feel bad for you around the country. Nobody cares. Everybody's got their own problems. Everybody's injured to a certain extent. Not this extent, but everybody's got injuries to guys they'd rather be out than playing. No one feels bad for you, and you got to find a way to grind through and get some wins. By some, I mean all of your remaining games. When I say some, I mean win them all. Like, you're in a bad spot. You got to win them all to make the playoff, and nobody's over. This is just this is an unlucky year, man. This is a bad spot to be. So, I don't know. Look at it. You could have lots of youth, lots of depth playing the rest of this year. And that's going to be hard now. And there's going to be rookie mistakes and some bad angles taken and some misreads and bad mistakes happen with younger, inexperienced guys. I guess look at it as that's going to make us better later on when those guys mature and they're getting that arc going now. That's the only way you could really look at this in a positive light, is like there's going to be some rookie mistakes now, but they'll be better for it later. But just a brutal year for Notre Dame with these injuries, and no one feels bad for you. You got to find a way anyways to win. You just do. So certainly you hope everybody heals quickly. Like, it's just an awful thing. All these guys at key line positions just keep going down. You just hope everybody heals quickly. And I don't know, man. Maybe have Notre Dame from now on every week put out a list of available players instead of unavailable players, and it'll be a quicker list for us all to read through and for you to write. This is just, it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation. This team already had flaws, and now they're down 80 guys to injury. It's a bad situation to be in, okay? So, I don't know, man. Cherry on top. Just go ahead and add it. I mean, just absolutely a nightmare. One of your best players out. You got 6 games you got to win. Your back's against the playoff wall. Next man up. Next man. I don't know what else to say, you guys. Next man up is got to do the job. It's just got to be good enough. It don't need to be perfect. It's got to be good enough. You must grind out 6 more wins. I got to have it. You must grind out 6 more wins, no matter how pretty they are in between. You got to have it. I don't want it. I need it. Wants and needs are different things in your life. I don't want it. I need it. Can I get it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Don't forget to check out the merchandise. The link is in the description. You can browse and carouse all the different Always Irish gear. Make sure you head over there and get something for the next tailgate. Thanks for being here.